Hello. Good evening.
Good evening.
So do you have any doubt from last class in this cross product?
No, sir.
Abdul Wahid? Okay. Now, on the basis of this cross product, we have to define a condition that is called condition for co-linearity. Collinearity means if two vectors coincides on one another or align in same line are termed as collinear. You must have learned in your earlier classes about collinear points. If 3 points, this, and this, lies along single straight line, then we can say these 3 points are collinear point. And using these 3 points, if you arrange to form vector, so it will be vector from this point to this point, and it will be vector from this point to this point, and there will be vector from this point to this point as well. Since all these vectors would lie or coincide over one another, so you can call them as collinear vector. Now, if you calculate angle between any two vector, it will be just 0 degree. So you'll say theta will be 0, means sine 0 will be 0. So A cross B will be 0. If you take A cross B and put it to 0, you'll get AX over BX equals to AY over BY equals to AZ over BZ. This is called condition for collinearity of two vectors. You must have learned this relation in your last class, that is class 10th, in chapter number 3 about linear equation in two variable. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down. Next is geometrical meaning of cross product. Suppose you have a parallelogram which is formed by adjacent sides as vector. Let's say vector A, which having magnitude from this point to this point, vector B, which having magnitude from this point to this point. Similarly, this will be A and this will be B. And inclination between A and B is theta. If you draw a vertical from this point to this, using resolution of vector, this component perpendicular to this will be B times sine theta from this point to this point. In this parallelogram, A will behave as base and B sine theta will behave as corresponding height between two parallel sides. Now, if you calculate A cross B mod, it will be mod of A mod of B times sine theta, which may be written as A times B into sine theta, in which A is behaving as base and B sine theta is behaving as corresponding height. So you will say it is base times corresponding height, which is nothing but area of parallelogram. So from this we can conclude mod of A cross B geometrically defines you area of parallelogram formed by these two vectors as their adjacent sides. Is it clear?
Yes.
Shoaib, any doubt? Now, if you join from this point to this point, that is diagonal of parallelogram, you must have learned in your early class about property of parallelogram. Diagonal of a parallelogram divide it into two congruent triangle and which must have equal area. So you'll say these two triangle would have equal area. So if you want to calculate area of triangle, it will be half of area of parallelogram, and it would be half mod A cross B. Okay, just write it down till this part. Wahid, any doubt? You all have done?
Yes.
Shoaib? Okay. Now we have to arrange or relate dot product and cross product, which is also termed as Lagrange relation. Since A dot B equals to A B times cos theta and A cross B mod equals to A B sine theta. So if you divide these two terms, you will get first tan theta equals to A cross B mod divided by A dot B. This is first relation. Next, if you sum up these two terms by taking their square, you will get A dot B square plus A cross B mod square. You will get A square times B square. So these are relation depending upon dot product and cross product, which is also termed as Lagrange relation. Just write it down. I'm giving you an example.
Answer.
If A dot B equals to root 3 times A cross B mod, find theta between A and B. Try to find using the above relation. Just put the value in the first relation and try to find theta. Good, Mamuna. Just see how to solve it. As we have a relation, tan theta is equals to A cross B mod divide by A dot B. Using this above relation. Now, if you put the value of A dot B, this term, you will get A cross B mod divide by A dot B, which is root 3 times A cross B mod. Now this term and this term will cancel out. So you're left with 1 over root 3 equals to tan theta. The value of theta for which tan theta is 1 by root 3 will be 30 degree. So you will say theta equals to 30 degrees. Wahid, is it clear? Shab, any doubt? Okay. So this is all about product of any two vector. Now, next is projectile motion. Projectile is nothing but motion of a body under the influence of gravity alone in two-dimensional plane is termed as projectile motion. So you'll say the motion of a body in two-dimensional plane under the effect of gravity alone is termed as projectile motion. Now we may rearrange projectile in two parts. One is called horizontal projectile and the other is called angular or oblique projectile. For horizontal projectile, if a body is projected horizontally from any height at constant velocity so that it will move along this path, y-axis, x-axis. This type of motion is termed as horizontal projectile. In angular projectile, if a body is projected at some inclination theta with respect to x-axis, like this, so this motion is termed as angular projectile. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now we have some assumptions for this projectile motion. First assumption is air resistance is neglected. Next, horizontal motion will be always constant, which means velocity of body along x-axis will be always constant. Velocity of body horizontally will be always constant, as there will be no any opposing or accelerating force due to neglection of this air resistance. And next is gravity to be remain constant. These three main assumptions will be used in this projectile motion. Okay, just write it down. I'm defining you first about horizontal projectile.
Done.
Right, done? Okay. There is one announcement. Tomorrow I will take your Viva exam. Okay. At this time. After class or before class. So just revise your previous part in this vector only. Is it clear?
Okay, sir.
Shab, any doubt? Okay. Next is horizontal projectile. Suppose a ball, a stone, or any object is projected at some angle theta. Just 1 minute. A body is projected along this direction at some constant velocity u, so that it will have two different directions of motion. One would be along x-axis and the other would be along y-axis. So it will follow path like this. This is y-axis, this is x-axis. A body is projected at constant velocity u horizontally from any height h. So this will have some height h. On hitting the ground, distance from point of projection to the hitting the ground is termed as range. So if we define its motion, let's say initially at this point, so I'm taking along vertical direction as well as horizontal direction. On moving to this path, it will have movement along x-axis to this point and movement along y-axis to this point. Similarly, for this point, it will have position at this point and position at this point. And finally, on hitting the ground to this, it will reach at this point and this point. So if you relate this particular motion, it will be along y-axis due to gravity and along x-axis both due to its horizontal projection. So on combining these two terms, you will say this body is moving along two-dimensional plane, that is both along x-axis as well as y-axis. That's why it's termed as projectile motion. Now, let's say position of this particular point to be x and vertical projection is y, for which this body will have one velocity along x-axis and the other would be along y-axis, and resultant would have velocity along this axis, which will incline at some angle theta with horizontal. Now we have to calculate Vx, Vy, then range, height, and so on. Is it clear till this part?
Yes, sir.
Wahid, any doubt?
Sir, for tomorrow's Viva, this today's portion will also be included.
No. I will take till product of vector. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now for this motion, we break this particular term into two parts. One is motion along x-axis, for which we have two terms. That is, first, initial velocity of projection is u, and acceleration along x-axis is 0, as velocity along x-axis is constant. Similarly, motion along y-axis, initial velocity along y-axis is 0, as object is projected horizontally and it is acted upon by gravity at any point, so acceleration will be g. Now using these two terms, we have to find final velocity. So it will be Vx is equals to u plus at, so it will be u only, as a is 0. This will be equation first. Using second equation, that is s is equals to ut plus half at square, so it will be x is equals to u into t only, as acceleration is 0. So this will be equation second. Similarly for y-axis, it will be Vy is equals to uy plus a into t, so it will be g into t only, and displacement equals to ut plus half at squared, so it will be half gt squared as y. So this will be equation number third, and this will be equation number fourth. Now using these four equations, we have to define different terms related to this whole projectile. First is time of flight. It means the total time taken or traveled by the body to reach the ground from point of projection, or the total time elapsed during this whole movement is termed as time of flight. So put the value of y to be h in equation fourth. You will get t is equals to root under 2h by g. This time is independent of mass of body to be thrown. So you will say projectile of any mass from the same point of projection take same time to hit the ground. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Next is height of projection. So using same equation, equation fourth, put the value of y to be h. So it will be h is equals to half times gt squared. Next is horizontal range. Or simply range, which is horizontal distance traveled by the body. Put x is equals to r in equation 2. You will get r is equals to u into t, which equals to u times root under 2h by g. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down till this part. Have you all done till this part?
Yes, sir.
Shab? Okay. Next is final velocity. Which is combination of x and y. So it will be b is equals to root under vx squared and vy squared. We have calculated above vx is equals to u and vy is equals to g into t. Vx is equals to u and vy is equals to g into t. Put these two terms in this above equation, you will get final velocity at any instant of time. Next is angle or direction of projectile at any instant, for which just calculate tan theta using this graph. Tan theta equals to perpendicular over base, and perpendicular is Vy and base is Vx. So using these two terms, you will get direction. Tan theta is equals to perpendicular divided by base. Perpendicular is gt and base is u. So it will define you direction or inclination of particle at any instant related to time. And last is equation of trajectory. Trajectory means path of projectile traced by the particle. So it will be path traced by particle during motion is termed as trajectory. So for this equation, we have to relate only x and y. So just see in equation 2 and equation 4, we have x and y. So from 2, we can say t is equals to x by u. Put it in equation 4, you will get y equals to g by 2 times of u squared times x squared. Now in this expression, this is constant and y is proportional to x squared. So you'll say path of projectile will be parabolic. Since y is proportional to x squared, which is equation of parabola, so path of projectile is parabolic. And one last term, if you have to calculate net displacement of particle, net displacement of particle, it will be root under x square and y square. For the final destination, x will be equals to range and y equals to height. It will be this term. So using this horizontal projection, we will have to calculate these 7 different terms. Is it clear, Mamuna?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just write it down. I'm giving you some examples.
Done.
Wyatt, done. Okay. A particle is thrown horizontally so that it hits the ground at 45 degrees in 3 seconds. Find first velocity of projection, second height from which body is thrown, third range, final velocity. Try to find. And net displacement. Just use the above formula and try to solve. In this part, we have theta equals to 45 degree and time taken is 3 seconds. Put these two values in this tan theta, you will get initial velocity u. as gravity equals to 10 meter per second squared. Then put the value of t to get height, range, final velocity, and net displacement. Try to solve. Just use these equations to get those above term. Mamuna, any doubt while solving?
No, sir, I'm in the last one.
Okay. Shab, any problem? If you put the value in this first equation as tan 45 will be 1 equals to g, time taken is 3 divided by u. So you will get u is equals to 30 meter per second. For the second part, half g is 10 and time is 3 squared. So it will be 3 into 3. 2 in 5 time will be 10. 5 into 3, 15 into 3, it will be 45 meters. For third term, u is 30, time period is 3. So it will be 90 meters. Vx is u, which is 30. Vy is g into t. G is 10 and t is 3 whole square root under. 30 square is 900. 30 square is 900 root under. So it will be 30 root 2 meter per second. And to get net displacement, put the value of r, which is 90, square, height as 45 square root under. So if you take 45 square to be common, you will left with 2 square and 1 square whole root under. So it will be 45 root under 5 meter. Amona, you got the same answer?
Yes, sir, I got all of them. I was just writing the message in the chat.
Okay. Shab, any doubt? Wahid, is it clear? Good, Mamuna. In this part, we have to calculate displacement, which will be equals to root under perpendicular square and base square. Just see the above diagram. As we had formula, d is equals to root under r square plus h square, or from the diagram, it will be from this point to this point, which is nothing but hypotenuse of this triangle, for which base is range and perpendicular is this height. So using Pythagoras theorem, you will be able to calculate displacement from this point to this point. Is it clear, Shab? Shab, you have done till this part? Okay, I'm giving you one more problem. Suppose there is stair which is h unit height till this part, from which a ball is thrown horizontally at some initial velocity u. So you have to find the nth step on which this ball will hit the stair again. If stair having width w, height h, a ball is thrown horizontally at u from top. Find the nth step on which it will hit the stair. I'm defining you what it is on moving, the path would be like this. To this point, for which just draw a vertical line and a horizontal line. As each step is h unit height, so the total height of this particular nth step will be n times h. Each step is w unit wide, so for nth step, total distance will be n times w from this point to this point. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now use the relation between range and height, put all these values and try to simplify for n. Try to solve. Since we have a relation r is equals to u times root under 2h by g. Put the value of r and h, take squaring both sides and simplify it to get the value of n. Good, Mamuna. If you put the value of r as n times w equals to u root under 2h divided by g. And this part, h is two times n into h. So on squaring, it will become n square w square equals to u square 2 times nh divided by g. Now this 2 and n will cancel out. So you're left with n is equals to 2 times u square h divided by g times w square. It will be the nth step on which ball will hit the stair again. Wahid, is it clear? For tomorrow's Viva, I will just ask basic question and small question, objective type. Okay, Maimuna?
Okay, sir.
Wahid, you have written? Okay. Next is angular or oblique projectile. Suppose a body is projected at some angle theta and at some velocity u from this point. So motion of this particular body will be, let's say this is point, it will move along vertical path to reach this highest point, and then it will return back to this point. Like this. And there is one more along horizontal path. So this particular body will have motion in both x and y axis. A body is projected at u at theta with respect to horizontal. Now for this initial velocity, if you break its component or resolve its component, it will have one component along this direction, which will be u cos theta, and the other component will be along this direction, which will be u times sine theta. On hitting the ground again along this path, and which again would be at same inclination theta. In motion did, or in third chapter, I defined you for free fall. At same horizontal level, velocity of body must be equal and will be inclined at same angle as angle of projection. So if you break its component, it will have u cos theta along horizontal and u sine theta along vertical. Now using these two terms, if you rearrange first initial velocity, so it will be u cos theta I cap and u sine theta j cap. Similarly, final velocity of hitting the ground will be u cos theta I cap minus of u sine theta j cap. Now, if you relate these two terms, you will say there will be only change in y component from initial velocity to this final velocity. There is change only in direction of y component. Now, with respect to these initial velocity and final velocity, you will have to calculate first average velocity, which will be initial velocity, final velocity divided by 2. If you put these two terms, you will get u cos theta only and I cap. Similarly, change in velocity will be v final minus v initial. If you put the value of v final and v initial in this part, you will get minus of 2 u times sine theta j cap. Is it clear to this part?
Yes, sir.
At highest point, since body has reached its maximum, so it will have only one component, that will be u cos theta, vy will be 0. So this height is termed as maximum height. Total distance from point of projection till hitting the ground again is termed as range. Just write it down till this part. I'm defining you some more term related to this projection.
Done.
Yusuf, Abdul Wahid, done? Now in this part, if you take motion in two different terms, one is motion along x-axis. We have initial velocity as u cos theta and acceleration along x-axis is 0. Similarly, motion along y-axis, initial velocity along y-axis is u times sine theta, and it will be acted by gravity in this direction. So acceleration will be minus g. As point of thrown is taken as origin, so all of upward quantity will be positive and downward quantity will be negative. Now using these terms, we have to define final velocity and displacement. So Vx is equals to u times cos theta as acceleration is 0. So this will be equation first. Similarly, Vy equals to u times sine theta minus a into t, that is gt. To get displacement along x-axis, it will be s is equals to ut plus half at squared. So it will be u times cos theta into t. Equation 2. Let this be equation 3. S is equals to u times t half a t squared. So this will be equation number 4. And using third equation, it will be Vy equals to u times minus 2gy. So I've just put the values in all these three equations along x-axis and y-axis to get these 5 expressions. Now using this 5 expression, we have to calculate different terms. Schwab, in it out. Now first is time of flight. Put y equals to 0 in equation 4th. You will get u times sine theta t minus half times gt squared equals to 0. Take t as common, so you will get u times sine theta minus g into t by 2 equals to 0. If we equate individually to 0, you will get t equals to 0 and t equals to 2 times of u sine theta divided by g. So this first time t equals to 0 will define you point of thrown, that is origin. And this time will define you total time elapsed during air, which is time of flight. Is it clear, Mamuna?
Yes, sir.
Next is height attained by this projectile, or maximum height attained by this projectile. Put Vy to be 0 to get maximum height, and y is equals to h in equation 5th. You will get h is equals to u square sine square theta divided by 2 times g. So this will be maximum height attained by this projectile during its motion. Next is horizontal range, or horizontal distance traveled by this particle from point of projection to hit the ground again. So put x is equals to r and t is equals to time of flight in equation 2. You will get r is equals to u times cos theta, t is equals to 2 times of u sine theta divided by g. If you rearrange it, you will get u square 2 times sine theta cos theta divided by g. This term is nothing but sine of 2 theta. So it will be u square sine 2 theta divided by g is equals to range. So these are 3 main expressions for this projectile motion. Wahid, is it clear? Okay, just write it down. You all have done to this?
Yes.
Shab? Okay. Next is equation of trajectory. Or simply a relation to define x and y only. So we can relate it from equation 2. You will say t equals to x divided by u times cos theta. Put this in equation 4. You will get y equals to u times sine theta into t, and t is x by u cos theta, minus g divided by 2 t square, which is x square divided by u square cos square theta. Now, if you rearrange it, you will get x times tan theta minus g by 2 times of u square cos square theta whole times x square is equals to y. Now just see in this expression, we have y proportional to highest power of x as x square, which is nothing but equation of parabola. Hence, trajectory or path is parabolic in nature. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, just write it down. I'm giving you an example. Try to solve. Take gravity to be 10 meters per second square. Should I give you some hint how to solve it? just say in this part, we have initial velocity equals to 2 times I cap and 3 times j cap. I defined you above. Final velocity on hitting the ground will change only in sign of y coordinate. So you'll say V final would be 2 times of I cap, but minus of 3j cap. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now, in this part, we have for this initial velocity, we have two different components. So one must be u times cos theta. So it will be 2. And the other will be u times sine theta, which will be 3. Now, if you divide these two terms, u and u will cancel out. So you will get cos theta divided by sine theta. So it will be cot theta equals to 2 by 3. Now using this relation, you will say cot theta is ratio of base and perpendicular. So this will behave as base and this will behave as perpendicular. So if you draw a triangle and let this be theta, so this will be base and this will be perpendicular and this will be hypotenuse, for which base is equals to 2, perpendicular is equals to 3. So using Pythagoras theorem, you will say it will be root under base square plus perpendicular square. So it will be root of 30. Is it clear till this part?
Yes.
Now, if you put these terms in this part, u cos theta equals to 2. We have to calculate u. Cos theta is base over hypotenuse. Base is 2 divided by hypotenuse, which is 13, equals to 2. So you will get u is equals to 2 into root 13 divided by 2. So 2 and 2 will cancel out. So you are left with root 13 meter per second. Now from this, you will say we have initial velocity and we have angle. So if you have to calculate time of flight, so it will be 2 times of u sine theta divided by gravity, for which initial velocity is under root 13. Sine theta you will calculate from this triangle. Gravity is 10. Similarly, for range equals to u times u square 2 times sine theta into cos theta divided by gravity. And similarly, for maximum height attained, it will be u square sine square theta divided by 2 times g. Just put all the values in this expression and simplify it. Is it clear now, Namuna?
Yes.
Okay. Shab, any doubt? Good, Mamuna. If you put the values, it will be 2 times of u. U is root of 13. Sine theta, which is perpendicular over hypotenuse, so it will be 3 divided by under root 13 divided by 10. So this term and this term will cancel out. So you will get 3 into 2, 6 divided by 10. So it will be 0.6 second. For the second part, you have 2 u squared. So it will be root 13 into root 13. So it will be 13 only. Sine theta, which is perpendicular over hypotenuse. So it will be this term. Cos theta, which is base over hypotenuse. So it will be this term. Divide by gravity, which is 10. Root 13 would be 13 only. So it will be cancelled out by this. 2 into 3, 6 into 2, 12 divided by 10. So it will be just 1.2 meter. And last, u square sine square theta. So it will be 13. Sine square is 3 divided by root 13 square. So it will be 9 divided by divide by 13 whole divided by 2 into g, that is 10. So this 13 and this 13 will cancel it out. 9 by 2 is 4.5 divided by 10. So it will be 0.45 meters. Wahid, is it clear till this part? Shwab, any doubt in this calculation? You all have written till this? Okay. We may simplify this expression in more simpler way if you know relationship between all these quantity. I'm defining you some relationship. First, we have P is equals to 2 times of U sine theta divided by G. Range is equals to 2 times of U square sine theta into cos theta divided by G, and H is equals to U square sine square theta, that is sine theta into sine theta divided by 2 times of G. In this first part for time of flight, we have only U, but in rest of the two term we have U squared. So we have to make this T so that it will have U square component. So just square it. It will be U squared times sine theta into sine theta divided by G square. So it will be G into G. To get relationship between any two term, just divide them. So it will be T square divided by R. Put the value of T in numerator. So we have 4 times U square sine theta into sine theta divided by gravity into gravity. Similarly, for range, we have 2 times of U square sine theta into cos theta divided by gravity. Now on simplifying, you will get T square divided by R. G and G will cancel out. U square cancel out. Sine cancel out. So you will get 2 times tan theta divided by gravity. On cross multiplication, you will left with gt square is equals to 2 times of R into tan theta. So this will be your first relation between time of flight and range. Wahid, is it clear? Mamuna, any doubt?
No, sir.
Similarly, if you divide these two terms, range and height, it will be 2 times of u square sine theta into cos theta divided by gravity times height, which is u square sine theta into sine theta divided by 2 times gravity. Gravity and gravity cancel out, sine theta cancel out, u square cancel out. So you'll get R equals to, or R tan theta is equals to 4 times H. Now, if you rearrange this first expression and the second expression, you will get gt square is equals to 2 times of R tan theta is equals to 8 times H. as your final expression. So if you know in these three terms about any one value, you will be able to calculate the rest of the all two terms. Is it clear? So just remember this relationship. Just write it down till this part.
तो पूरा खुशी धन्यवाद.
You all have done till this?
Yes.
Wahid? Okay. So let's revise this whole part and try to do more and more problems related to this whole topic. In next class, I will define you some more problem related to this and more concept about this projectile. Then we'll start relative motion in 1 dimension as well as 2 dimension. Okay. And I will take your Viva as well. Okay. Just prepare
Okay, sir.
till product of vector, the basic concepts only. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay then.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.